Hello everyone, MFPallytime here. Welcome back to Heroes of the Storm. Hope you guys are having a great day today. In today's video, we're going to do a very long, boring, drawn out, slow, tedious, not entertaining in the slightest look at the newest character to hit the Heroes of the Storm PTR. His name is Alarak. He is from the StarCraft universe, and I have to say, just putting this out there, I think he has one of the best launch skins for the character in the game. Just look at this thing. Oh my god. Oh my god. It's so good. And the skin tints are just so out there. I'm really looking forward to unlocking those. Now, Alarak is a melee assassin that uses a lot of spells. It's like, I don't know how I feel about him. I have played 3 games. I kind of have a build I think will be good, but we're going to go into try mode. We're going to take a look at his kit. We're going to take a look at his talent, and we're going to try to figure out what may be an effective way to play him once he is released onto the live servers. I know you guys have a lot of things you could be doing today, and I appreciate you taking the time out of your busy schedules to watch my videos. Now, let's jump into it, shall we? Whenever this loading screen happens to pass. So, what are Alarak's abilities? Well, first of all, it's worth noting that he has his own unique mount, kind of like Azmodan. He can't use a traditional horse. I know that interests a very small amount of people, but it interests me, so I wanted to talk about it. His Q ability is Discord Strike. You can kind of see it's like a pelvic thrust. It only hits a very small area in front of him. After 0.5 second delay, enemies in front of Alarak take 384 damage. And this is the interesting part. They are then silenced for 1.5 seconds. So, other than an ability like, let's say, Polymorph, this is the only silence in the game that is not on a heroic ability. Just putting that out there. I don't think there's another one. Maybe there is. Maybe you can let me know. But I'm pretty sure this is the only silence other than Polymorph. And that's significant. And it's a 1.5 second silence at that. The most prominent one in the game other than Alarak's would be Sylvanas, which is on like a 1.5 minute cooldown, and it's a skill shot, so it's worth keeping in mind. His W ability, Telekinesis. Create a force pushing yourself and all enemies hit from the targeted point towards a targeted direction. Deals 105 damage to enemies. It's worth noting that the damage on all of these, I don't know how accurate it is, because he has this sadism trait where he deals 100% more ability damage versus enemy heroes. So this says it's going to do 105, but it actually does 211. And our Q actually does 700 fucking damage at level 20, which is pretty astounding. His E ability, Lightning Surge. You deal 197 damage to an enemy and all enemies between you and the target. 75% of the damage is dealt to enemies. 75% of the damage that's dealt to enemies gets returned as health. Now, this is only enemy heroes that returns the health, but the idea is if Arthas comes back, if he stands on the other side of this minion wave and we position for it, we hit all of the minions in the way. So it's kind of like a chain lightning, kind of, not really. It's only in a straight line. Like it has a, you could kind of see it momentarily. Let me turn off cooldowns. You can kind of see the line after I use it. And that's the only area that's actually affected. So, definitely his most interesting ability is his telekinesis, and there are several talents in the talent tree that kind of augment this, but the ability to move yourself is pretty interesting. While I was streaming him on the Squadron channel, notice the point of impact, and then you draw where you want it to go. I guess I was doing this full, like, drag. I was doing these really articulated drags. I guess that's not necessary. Like, I could just put it here and it'll go the full duration. Okay, so I thought I had a bit more control over this than I actually do. It's drop the point of impact and then put it down, and it'll move you in the direction. You could self-cast this, Whoa, there's a boss here now? Whoa. Oh, hello, Mr. Boss. I guess they changed try mode. You can self-cast this by hitting W, and then or by hitting Alt and then W, and then you'll just go to wherever your cursor is. So, like, if you wanted to go this way. Oh, it's whatever way you're traveling? Wait, what?
I agree with this.
Oh, it's whatever way you're traveling. Okay. I thought it would be a bit more responsive as far as which way your cursor was actually facing. Doesn't appear to be. Anyway, his kit is cool. I like being able to reposition people. And one of the more interesting things about him as well, let's just pick some talents here. At level 10, he gets 2 heroic abilities. Now, both of these are on very, very low cooldowns. Deadly Charge is on a 45, whereas Counter Strike is on a 30-second cooldown. So both very, very short cooldowns. Deadly Charge we'll talk about first. After channeling, Alarak charges forward, dealing 439 damage to all enemies in the path. The distance is increased based on an amount of time. So basically, it just means, like, the longer you hold it down, the farther you'll go up to a point. Issuing a move order while this is channeling will cancel it at no cost, and taking damage will interrupt the channeling. So what this looks like is you could set up for ganks like on the other side of a bush. We could choose we want to go here. We can move this freely, by the way. Then zoom in. Hello, Office Minifil. How are you? And just completely bully this guy around until he is DED dead. And it's a pretty good engage. Don't think of this as an escape in most situations. At best, you can juke someone around a corner, push them back, and then zip back over the side when they turn around. That's about as good as you're going to get as far as jukes with this. It's not an escape ability, it's an engage ability. And it does do damage to everything as we teleport in, although it's not a ton. Let's go ahead and look at the other heroic. It is Counter-Strike. Alarak becomes protected and channels for 1 second. If an enemy hero attacks Alarak during that time, Alarak sends a shockwave forward that deals 548 damage. So you kind of have to time this a little bit. Like, it doesn't matter how much damage they deal. So if Arthas turns on his AoE, for instance, it's guaranteed to deal damage to us. Like, we can exploit Arthas's ability to just sit there and deal damage. Or, you know, walk into a tower, I guess. That's a bit more guaranteed. So the idea is... Oh, does it have to be a hero? If an enemy hero attacks you. Oh, it does have to be a hero. Arthas! Arthas, hit me so I can show it! What are you doing? Come on! Arthas! God damn it. Oh, here we go. So you have that 1 second time where you kind of sit there in statue form, and then if you aim it properly, you will deal damage to the person that hit you. Now, you cannot change the direction of this one. This direction is set, and it will only explode if a hero hits you. Again, versus an auto attack hero, that's going to be crazy easy to do, especially like a character like Vala or someone that attacks very, very quickly. Very, very easy to do. But also versus a character like, let's say, Li Ming, you see an arcane orb coming towards you, you go invulnerable, you deal damage to her instead of her dealing damage to you. So pretty cool, fun, reactive ability. And again, this is only on a 30-second cooldown. His other ability on a 45-second cooldown. Now, we're going to progress a little bit faster than we normally would, and we're going to go straight to level 20 now, because this is actually really interesting. He gets 2 heroic abilities, or has the option to get 2 heroic abilities. So now we could charge in like this, go straight into Arthas, and blow him up with that shockwave. He's running away. We want to move him back and finish him off. So once you hit level 20, it's a pretty fucking huge power spike. But you don't have to go for 2 heroics. Now, we'll get to the other talents at level 20. I just wanted to open that dialogue up, let you know that you do have that option available, because no other character in the game can have 2 heroic abilities. Now, the downside to this is neither of these heroic abilities actually get upgraded further in any capacity, which is weird. Anyway, let's look at his talent, shall we? All right, reset. Now, the Satanism at level, or your trait. It is important to understand that this damage bonus that you get from it will, it can go higher than 100% or it can go lower than 100% based on the talents that you choose. And my initial time playing the character, I felt really scared to take any talents away from the Satanism because it was like, well, I'm lowering my potential damage. Why would I want to do that? He has a lot of talents in here that can improve his ability to just add some utility to his team. If you didn't want to just be a balls out, I do only damage, Satanism. It's pronounced Satanism. I'm saying it right. What the fuck, chat? It's the only... he can be a bit more dynamic than, say, a Thrall. Thrall goes in, Thrall deals damage. Thrall only thinks about dealing damage. But he could think about adding a bit more utility to his kit, and I think... Sadism. I got it. We're good. We're on the same page. We got it. We're good. But he can think about adding more utility to his kit, which is really interesting. He can get a lot of slows, he can increase the range of his displacements, and he can do a lot of really good stuff. You guys know I have to troll you every now and then, right? Like, you know how many people were telling me how to say it properly? Anyway, let's jump into his talents. At level 1, without effort, telekinesis no longer has a mana cost. I have had absolutely 0 problems with mana on this character at all. Like, none. And you guys know how much I love my mana talents generally. I've had no mana issues whatsoever on this guy. So I do not think that talent is going to be required at all. So just keep that in mind. The other talents reduces the damage bonus of Satanism. Yeah, that's what we're going with, right? By 10%, but telekinesis pushes 20% further. I found myself really liking this one. Again, it's scary as a damage dealer to think, oh, I'm gonna lose damage? Why would I do that? I'm an assassin. But being able to increase the range... How do I want to show this? What's the easiest way to show this? Okay, I'm going to stand right here. New sponsor, Lyra Silvartia. My God, you have a hard name to say. I hope I said it right. Thank you for supporting the channel. I hope you enjoy your top hat. So let's go ahead and pick this up so you can see the difference. We'll move it as far as we can that way. And ourselves, apparently. God, I've ruined it. Okay, let's move it back. So we're going to stay even here. We're completely even with it, right? More or less. And then we'll reset talents and we'll try to move it again.
Choose a talent.
Oh. So, I guess the point of impact does matter. Anyway. You're losing 10% damage just to displace someone significantly more. And this makes a big difference in the middle of a team fight. I didn't show it off as well as I wanted to, just so we're clear. But this can make a big difference in the middle of a team fight. Moving someone that far into a character like an ETC or a Muradin that can just instantly stun them and lock them down, that's a really big deal. And you can get a ton of value out of just that little bit more of a displacement. Not to mention, pushing someone closer to your auto attack damage dealers, which is something I was doing a lot because a ton of people were playing Vala because of her changes. Moving a target closer to Vala is a really big deal, and she can get a ton more damage out before the target's able to move away. He also has some other abilities in his kit that allow you to capitalize on displacement a little bit better further down the road. So I like this one the most at level 1 because it combos with the other utility-based talents in his kit a bit further down the road. But Power Conduit reduces the mana cost of Lightning Surge by 15. Again, I've had no issues with mana on this character. He can use all of his abilities a lot. Like, that was his full cost. You're going to be getting regen globes. You're going to have a sippy cup on the board. This was his full cooldown rotation cycle. And as you can see, it's not that intensive. It's not that intensive at all. The other option at level 1, if you wanted to go for a totally different, not utility build at all, would be Wide Lightning. Increases the width of lightning surge beams by 50%, which just means that you cleave a little bit more of the area when you use your E ability. It's not going to be a giant difference, and you should not expect it to be a giant difference. This is just a small incremental damage increase because you can hit a slightly wider area. All in all, I don't think it's that useful, and even if I was going for an E-based build, I still think that I would go for the Applied Force at level 1. But I do think his E talents in general are pretty strong, and you could get a lot out of them. I just like the knockback more. I think there's a lot more plays to be made with it. Also, keep in mind that if you're self-casting, you can get yourself out of danger significantly easier if you can move farther away. So not only is it good for offensive plays, but it's good for defensive plays. Now, level 4, we have Double Cross. Increase the range of Discord Strike by 25%, and it also hits a line perpendicular to the forward strike. What this means is this is the default range. We want to hit him with just the tip. Oh. Okay, close enough. So that's just the tip right there. If we take this upgrade, now it goes significantly farther, and it also does these little piercing things nearby, as if you were Kylo Ren using his lightsaber, you know what I'm saying? So it does decent damage, and really the only benefit to it, the only benefit to the increased range, is the fact that you can walk right up to melees and kind of cleave the ones next to you and still be able to hit the entire wave. I would say it's incredibly useful, but the extra, like the side vents, not incredibly useful. But the overall, like, range increase can definitely come in handy, because remember, this does have a half-second channel time. Now, what's interesting is this feels to me a lot like the Dahaka tongue that we've been talking a lot about in the A through Z series. This feels a lot like Dahaka's delay. Here we go, 3, 2, 1. Almost exactly like the delay on Dahaka's tongue, but Dahaka doesn't have a fucking delay on his tongue. God damn it, I'm still fucking salty about it. All right, we'll go ahead and reset talents, take a look at the other ones. Then we have Reckless Strike, reduces the delay of Discord Strike by 0.25. But if you hit an enemy, if it hits an enemy, you become vulnerable. You take 25% more damage for 2 seconds. For the life of me, I cannot think of a fucking scenario where this is a good idea. You know what sounds fun? Getting owned. It's like that's what you're trying to do. Why would you... Well, let's go help our team do boss. Oh shit, bots just hit me for fucking half my health bar. The delay's not that bad. If you could dodge a wrench, you could dodge a ball. If you could play Dahaka, you can play Alarak. You know what I'm saying? You don't need to reduce the delay, especially at the cost of taking 25% more damage. It just makes no sense whatsoever. I don't know why that is a talent in the game. Especially when Dahaka cannot reduce the cooldown of his tongue. That drives me nuts. Still salty, team. Still salty. Hashtag never forget the lick. Reduce cooldown on Discord Strike by 2 seconds. If a Discord Strike hits no enemies, then the mana cost is refunded and the cooldown reduced by 3 seconds. So the default cooldown is 8 seconds. So let's say you miss, all of a sudden it goes down to a 5-second cooldown. If it hits no enemies, so it doesn't need to hit heroes, right? Yeah, so again, I don't really see the value here. If you miss, like... Get good. Like, land your skill shots. I don't think you need a talent dedicated to that. And then last but not least, we have increased lightning surge range by 20%. This is the one I find the most useful here. Your default range for your E ability is really, really big as it is. But you can increase it by 20%. which makes it obviously even bigger, and significantly easier to deal damage with your E. I suppose I never mentioned the fact that this is your main source of sustain. So having increased range on this allows you to sit back significantly farther and just kind of poke at this guy. Like, we don't have to commit here. We can stay super far back. If he comes after us and we're low on health, we can just continue to move away with our knockback. Like, we can stay really safe versus most heroes. And now, instead of just being a purely melee assassin, we can kind of poke people down with that range increase a bit more, which is good. Even if you're not going for a full E build, which again, the E build's not bad. The E build's not bad at all. I think this is the most valuable talent in the tier, just for overall sustain. And it adds more flexibility to your gameplay. So kind of like how Thrall, the main build for Thrall used to be getting Lightning level 1 and 4. I think it's kind of shifted up now. But the idea for that was you have a melee assassin. Yes, your Wind Fury is your highest damage dealer, but your sustain is going to come from filling up that Frostwolf medallion. So you pick the talents of level 1 and 4 for the Chain Lightning to go farther and do whatever, because it gave you more flexibility. You could kill people that were running away from you. You could heal yourself in a way that made more sense. And it just gave you a lot of not only sustain, but just variance and as far as like how you could approach the battlefield. And I kind of think about this one in the same way. Now, level 7. We have Chaos Reigns. Each time Discord Strike hits a hero, its damage is increased by 3 up to 45. After hitting 15 heroes, increase its damage by an additional 45. So these kinds of quests are very, very common in the game now. You land your Q, you get good at landing your Q, you land your Q some more, and then you deal more damage with your Q. Very straightforward. Does take a little bit of time to build up, but if you're very good at walking up to people and doing this, then you get a lot of value in it by the end of the game. Endless Energy. Heroes hit between you and the victim decrease the cooldown of Lightning Surge by 0.2 seconds up to 2 seconds. So Lightning Surge by default has a 6-second cooldown. Remember, this is what you're using to heal yourself with as well. And you can reduce the cooldown by a full 2 seconds. And especially when you have the increased range, this becomes very easy to do if you're laning against multiple heroes. All you have to do is get some distance and, you know, enemies clump up quite a bit. And you just need to make sure that that beam in the middle hits someone other than your intended target. So versus 2 heroes, just get them to line up and you can slowly reduce the cooldown of your ability. I like this one a lot. And again, the beam in the middle is so small that I don't think increasing the width is going to be required at all for that kind of synergy. I don't think you have to get the level 1 talent to make this level 7 talent work. And it is pretty good. It's pretty good talent. The last one in the tier reduces the damage bonus of Satanism. I think, yeah, nailed it. By 10%. But Lightning Surge slows enemies hit between you and the victim by 70% for 1.5 seconds. So this is an example of him losing damage potential again in order to gain a little bit of utility. A 70% slow for 1.5 seconds is pretty good. Now, in this kind of a situation, I do think it's a little bit harder to pull off. It's a little bit harder to pull off in a scenario where you actually get kill potential out of it. Because if targets are running away, yes, you can definitely get that range increase and hit multiple people with this and try to get that slow, and you will get some kills with this slow. But you are lowering your overall damage output. And personally, I think I would rather have the cooldown reduction as opposed to the slow that you're not always guaranteed to hit. You don't need to always get the cooldown reduction. This is something that's going to build up throughout the course of the game. But when you're chasing someone down, you want the slow to help get that kill. And the slow is only on targets in between you and the victim of the ability. So I think that is worth keeping in mind. My favorite here is the cooldown reduction. I'm sure you can already tell. But I also think Chaos Reigns is going to be fine. It's going to come down to playstyle choice, I think, more than anything. There is a combo associated with the Q ability, and I suppose if you could get good at landing this, then you could get a bit more value out of the Q. I am going to go ahead and get the cooldown reduction. But So the idea is, again, with the increased range, the combo is going to become a little bit easier. But the idea is you move someone inwards. God damn it. You move someone inwards, and as they're traveling, you hit them with the Q, right? So you could do it every 10 seconds. It's going to cost about 100 mana. It's 90 mana. But the idea is that as they're moving towards you, you'll be able to land the Q no problem, like guaranteed every time. Now, when I was trying the character out, a lot of people put tons and tons and tons of emphasis on this being a thing that you should constantly be doing. But it's nowhere near as disruptive as, say, a Kerrigan combo. Yes, it does allow you to get some guaranteed damage in, but it's also significantly harder to land than a Kerrigan combo. Because remember, Kerrigan's radius is something like this. You're pulling in this whole area here. Whereas the W ability for Alarak, yeah, it's good and it's a wide area, but there's a lot more variables to it. Like you could easily fuck that up and send them in the wrong direction like I just did right there. Now that's not to say you shouldn't be trying to strive to get better at that, because I do think it's a part of skill capping the character, right? I just don't think it's a super important part of the kit that, you know, we're kind of building around here. Now, again, if you wanted to go for the increased Q damage, then you'd probably get more value out of being able to land this combo over and over. I just think it's kind of very difficult to land and nowhere near as useful as the Kerrigan part. Alternatively, you could push yourself, and yes, that is absolutely right. But the target could probably move out of the way then. But yes, good point. Thank you for bringing that up, because I totally forgot to talk about it. Now, Deadly Charge is the one that I like more. They're both good, though. It's totally a playstyle choice, like 100%. Definitely a playstyle choice. I like Deadly Charge because I like to surprise a target from the fog of war, go in, and then unleash hell and deal as much damage as possible, and then push them around and just try to end their life. Keep in mind, you are a melee assassin. You are good at melee. Your melee deals like 300 damage or something. So you can actually do a ton of burst damage out of the fog with Deadly Charge. I can select a different enemy hero now. Look at this. So let's say, let's bring out a Jaina. Let's bring out a Jaina Proudmoore. Oh, this is cool. I've never done this before. Jaina? Jaina, come out. There she is! So again, you know, we can kind of swoop in under the radar. What happened? It didn't work. What the fuck? We could swoop in under the radar, undetected, and do a lot of damage. Very quickly. So that kind of stuff is cool. Level 13. Dissonance. Reduces the... Again, we're reducing our bonus damage by 10%, but increases the Discord Strike silence duration by 75%. Now, silence duration is situationally very good. Situationally. You're obviously going to get a lot more value with a silence on a healer, like Rhaegar or like an Uther or something like that. Versus a Jaina, I don't think we're going to get a ton of value out of a longer silence. Silences are generally used to interrupt a really high priority spell and stop that from doing a lot of damage. Not necessarily to keep someone from doing something for a very long time. That being said, it's 0.75 seconds. That means your silence is going to be almost 2.5 seconds. 2.25 seconds. That's a long fucking silence. You can get a lot done in that time, and you can interrupt a lot of escapes in that time. Because like a Li Ming, for instance, can't get away if you land this. So it can be very, very good. Very, very good. Psychokinesis, because that's easy to say, increases the telekinesis damage by 100%. It does 109 damage by default. It will do... Well, math. Oh god. Oh god. How do I math team? Okay. It's gonna do 416. Boom. Yeah. Yeah. So it brings it up from 109 to... It is 109, right? No, it's 114. I just leveled. So it brings it up to... Yeah, it's double. Fuck it. Fuck it. I give up. I don't cast her math. Fuck it. Let's reset our talents. Look at the other ones. What the hell did I pick? Okay. Still getting used to the new icons and shit.
Acceptable.
Cooldown, deadly charge. Okay. Hindered motion is the one that I would recommend the most here. The silence, fucking phenomenal. Okay? Really, really good. But I think in most cases, I would get more value out of hindered motion. So again, it's going to reduce our damage bonus by 10%. It would bring it down to 80% at this point. But the telekinesis is going to slow enemies by 40% for 1.5 seconds. So not only do we have the increased range on this, which is going to move targets further out of position, like that much, but then they're also slowed during that time, which again, we're talking about making plays. We're trying to make stuff happen. We're trying to make it so our team is better. Here's the math team. Team, look at the math. There it is. We're trying to make it so our team is better, not necessarily ourselves, or at least that's my approach here. So I think the added slow can add a ton of potential. And it's only a 10% loss to damage. Now, this is 10% loss on all of your abilities. That's worth mentioning. And the 10% loss is also going to reduce the amount you can heal, right? Because this scales and we get healed based off of how much damage we're dealing. But it's some really, really good utility. The last option in the talent tree, when a nearby ally hero dies, your bonus damage goes up by 8%, stacking up to 40%. This bonus cannot be consumed by Hasty Bargain and is lost on death. What the fuck is Hasty Bargain? Oh. Oh, shit. I never read that talent. That's actually fucking terrifying. Okay, so not bad. Not bad at all. The audio, the chat thinks that this has some amazing synergy with Murky, and I have to say, I fucking agree. I was actually really looking forward to doing a Heroes Unite with Murky just to stack this damage up like crazy. So it's like an inverted gathering power, which we haven't seen in the game before. We had Nova that had gathering power for a long time. I think Kil'Thas still has it. I don't know. I don't play Kil'Thas anymore, and he's been changed a million times since the last time I played him anyway. But having a gathering power that's focused on your team dying is so interesting. And let's keep in mind the fact that you also have to keep yourself alive after you get the gathering power, because that bonus will be lost on death. But, you know, if that sounds like something for you, if your team is dying, if your team is just going in and feeding and you're nearby, you are going to get a benefit from this talent here, Pure Malice. But it's weird. It's fucking weird. Ugh, it's so strange. Now, it's only ability damage, so you're always going to be strong as a melee attacker. Your melee attacks are always going to hit for some pretty decent damage. But your abilities can definitely decrease over the course of the game. Anyway, if I had to pick a talent here, based on the time that I have played the character, I'm definitely a big fan of Hindered Motion. Again, you can get a lot of value for your team out of it. You are sacrificing your damage potential, but you are helping your team quite a bit. Now, I definitely see the value in Pure Malice. It's just that I like Hindered Motion more. That's all. That's really the only reason. At level 16, we have Quick Mind. Reduce the damage bonus by 10% and the cooldown of telekinesis by 6 seconds. So it's at a 12-second cooldown right now. You reduce this down to a 6-second cooldown. Every 6 seconds, you can move someone like that. That's a big deal. That's a really big deal. Projected Force. Reduce the damage bonus of your Satanism by 10%, but increase the range of telekinesis by 25%. Now, this is not the knockback range. This is the range in which you can cast the ability. So the range by default is this. If we increase the range, it becomes this. So again, it makes it a little easier to kind of do these like split-second draws in a direction. I think it is best to do these little draws right at the character. You'll move them a lot farther that way. That I learned. So if we were to hit the dummy like this, like like this, he doesn't move that far. If we hit him like this, he moves a really long way. So it helps you land these like super long knockbacks a bit easier. But again, you are taking a hit to your overall damage output here. We also have sustaining power, increases your healing you receive from dealing damage to heroes with lightning surge by 30%. Very, very good for your self-sustain. And then negatively charged increases the damage dealt to enemies hit by center beam of the lightning surge by 100%, but does not generate any additional healing. What does that mean? That means if we have a healer in the back, let's say Jaina's a healer, and this minion in front is a damage dealer. That means if we go, okay, this archer in the back is a healer. If we hit the archer in the back, then these guys in the front are going to take a ton of damage, right? It says the center beam. I don't know what the center beam is actually entailing, unless there's a smaller beam inside of this that I can't see. That's some extremely unclear text, but I'm pretty sure that's what they're talking about. Maybe you guys can agree or disagree with me in chat. We can kind of narrow this down. Increases the damage dealt to enemies hit by the center beam of the lightning surge by 100%, but does not generate any additional healing. To me, that means that I deal more damage to the target in front. I don't know. Because no other talents have talked about a center beam at all, and every other talent has talked about the victim being the target, and then we deal damage to stuff in the middle. I don't know. Who the fuck knows? Pally didn't talk about the other ult. Yes, I did. Go back and watch the start of the video. It seems like most of chat is agreeing with me. Unfortunately, there's not a great way. I guess we could test it here, actually. I thought it had to be done to a hero initially. So we want to go for this, hindered motion. And then, so this guy here should take more damage than this guy here. And that's exactly what it is. So very awkward wording that completely goes off rails based on the wordings of the rest of everything they've been saying. So if we go to the tower, we can probably kill Jaina. Oh, never mind. Jaina, come back. Jaina, come back! There you go. 472 or 27 damage to her, just because the tower was our main target there. You can definitely get a lot of value with that, and it combos really, really well with the range increase that we picked up earlier. Again, I don't really think the width at level 1 is... I don't think it's wide enough to actually merit it. Maybe if it was 100%, it would do a bit more, but... Agenda. That's some decent burst, boys. That's some decent burst. Let's also keep in mind we can reposition her. So let's say she... I was going to use the towers again. Well, let's say we wanted to use this tower instead. Like, let's pretend she's close enough. We could just move her here and then electrocute the tower. Hey, she was close enough. And you could do stuff like that. So lots of potential for damage with negatively charged. Or you could go, again, a bit more utility-based and do projected force. I think both of these are the best in the tree at this level, but the healing is definitely good for sustain. Now, level 20. We've already talked about the fact that he can have 2 heroic abilities, so we could get Counter-Strike here and use that invulnerability to continue to deal damage. We could jump right in on Jaina here, use Counter-Strike the moment we get there, and try to live through any burst she might, have reciprocated on us. We could definitely do that. Last laugh, cleanse and his level 20 talents are so fucking weird. I've never seen any talent design like this at all, and it really makes me think that you are encouraged to get both heroic abilities, because his other 2 are just like the cost for using them seems so extreme. It just seems so extreme. Let's talk about it. So last laugh. Activate to remove all roots, slows, and damage over time effects, and teleport to the target location. Sounds great. Sign me up. Activating last laugh, however, will immediately reduce your health to 1. What? What? Oh, God, what a horrible thing. Why would you do this to me? So it's meant for, holy shit, I'm gonna fucking die, team. What do I do? Where do I go? And it's like that last-ditch effort to just kind of hop over something really quick and hope that you get the fuck out. It's like, it is like your complete last resort. I get it. It makes sense. Like, oh shit, there's no other options. Let's leave, team. Now, it is worth mentioning that it has about double the range of Bolt of the Storm, so you can actually disengage quite far with it. That is definitely worth mentioning. But, you can't, it also doesn't have the multiple purposes that Bolt of the Storm has. Normally you would take this on characters like Illidan if you want to chase someone down even further. You would take this on Thrall if you want to chase someone down even further. Yes, it does have quite a significant range, but you are fucked if anyone even so much as looks at you. An archer minion could have killed me in that situation there. Dude, no. Maybe, but my first instinct is no. My second instinct is maybe. Now you can do some pretty fucking cool shit if you just want to go balls deep here. Oh no, you can't! No, you can't, team! No, you can't! That was so sketchy. That was so sketchy. I didn't like it. Are we sure it's not global? Yeah, it has a cast range. Look at the cast range. I can't go, look, I'll put my cursor over here. I go here. The other option is okay. If you use it incredibly sparingly. Again, kind of like this. If you use it sparingly, and if you only use it for hard disengages when you're about to fucking die, and oh my god, this is so bad. Then, I mean, I could see it. The other option kind of punishes you the more you use it. Go ahead and reset talents again. Applied force. Did we get that? Did we get that? Did we get that? Do we want the slow? I forgot what I was getting here. I think the slow, then the extra damage, or the increased range. I think the increased range could be really good. Now this is Hasty Bargain. Activate to permanently reduce your Satanism bonus by 4%. And reset the cooldowns of your basic abilities. I hope I'm not going to ruin the rest of my testing by doing this, but this has a 20-second cooldown. It's a rewind on a 20-second cooldown. Man, that's good. Rewind on a 20-second cooldown is, like, incredible. But, it's lowering your maximum damage output with your abilities. So we just used it. We're down to 76%. Now we're down to 72. If you use this over the course of a match, your bonus, this thing down here, will continue to deplete and it'll just keep going and just keep going. So all of a sudden, the things you're doing to try to deal more damage or to heal for more inevitably stop dealing as much damage and stop healing you for more. And yeah, you can displace someone a lot with this, but is it really worth the damage loss? Does it go negative? Okay. So once you get to this point, you basically just can't use it anymore. Now, if you're really far ahead, then great. If you're not really far ahead, you're basically trading your scaling potential that you did have and kind of losing out on it. Because you're going to be getting progressively weaker over the course of the match. These two level 20 talents have so many downsides that it makes me think that they really want you to just use both of your heroic abilities. Now, there is some synergy here at level 13 with Pure Malice, because Hasty Bargain cannot take away the bonus gathering power you get from Pure Malice. Now, again, you could die with Pure Malice and lose that bonus, and then you're still sitting here with 0. Like, does it reset on death? No. The Hasty Bargain does not reset on death. So you're basically committing at that point to say, I don't want to deal more damage for the rest of the game. And unlike the talents we've been picking up for that decision, we get only momentarily bonuses of utility from this, rather than gradually getting more utility in place of damage. So, I mean, I really do think they're quite bad. I don't like it. I don't like it at all. So if I had to recommend a build for you guys to try, then it would look something like this. At level 16, you either go for the bonus damage, if you like how that plays out, and you like how that works, and you are ready to position for it and work around that for the rest of the game, or you go for projected force, just so you can move people around significantly easier. I like the bonus damage. We could try that out. And then you go for just your other heroic. So it would be... Go ahead and zoom in. It would be at level 1, applied force, into extended lightning, into endless energy. I feel like this is too zoomed in now. Son of a bitch. Into deadly charge, just because that's the one I like, and I think I can get more value out of it right away, especially for ganking. But you could easily swap this with Counter-Strike if you wanted to very early on and go down that route. Into hindered motion, negatively charged, and then the other heroic that you did not pick up. I think this is going to be one of the easiest ways to play him, and one of the most well-rounded. You have a lot of utility in here, you have a lot of damage in here, you're only lowering your damage bonus by 20%, that's not that big of a deal at all, and it's pretty well-rounded. It can do a lot. Other than that, I actually think that the E ability, the E build, is really strong. So you would go for... I still think I would go for the telekinesis push at level 1. Because that push is so strong. It's just so strong. Then range into the cooldown reduction, whichever ultimate you want. I would actually go for the pure malice here, just to increase your damage a bit more, because you want to be healing for more and dealing more damage here. Then I would go for the... well, actually, either one of these is fine. The healing is going to be more consistent and allow you to trade significantly more. And when you consider that you also have pure malice, you don't want to die. So the healing might actually be better here, but you could go for negatively charged as well if you wanted to go down that playstyle. And then once again, you go for Counter-Strike to keep yourself alive. You could go for Hasty Bargain and... get those really clutch kills to try to win the game. So let's turn off cooldowns. Let's say Jaina's trying to run away, and the only difference between us winning the game and losing is killing Jaina. So we could do something like this, and then as she goes to run, we reset all of our cooldowns and try to kill her again. I mean, something like that would be totally fine. But in most situations, I don't think it's going to be anywhere near as useful as just having Counter-Strike or something like that. So this playstyle is significantly more magey, and you would have to remind yourself that you need to go in melee because of level 23. You're doing 345 damage very, very quickly. He has a very fast attack speed. But you do get the added versatility of being able to, hey, I'm going to poke at Jaina for a while before I commit to this. And you could definitely do that. So that is going to conclude my theory crafting video, boys. Hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you did, please be sure to hit the thumbs up button. He's definitely an interesting character, and he's a character that's going to take a while to skill cap as well. I think he's quite hard. Again, this combo's useful, but nowhere near as impactful as a Kerrigan combo. So don't let people guilt trip you into not using the combo, although it's something you should learn how to do. If you did enjoy today's video, please be sure to hit the thumbs up button. And if you are new to the channel and you enjoy this content, please be sure to subscribe. I'm planning on recording more A through Z content tomorrow, so that should start rolling out on the channel again. Just been really enjoying Legion. It's been a nice change of pace. And I do have a stream going up on the Squadron channel in 15 minutes. We're going to be checking out the Butcher and Vala on the PTR because they just received a ton of changes. So I hope to see some of you guys there. And that's it for me today, at least for here, I think. I don't think we're streaming WoW again today. So I will see you all tomorrow.